So I will hand over to you.
Thank you.
If you want to ask the councillors if they want to take it as read and then take questions, that's fine. Or if you want to give a small overview, that's fine too.
I would be more than happy if you would like to take it as read. Perhaps you could indicate to me whether or not you wish me to go through it. Otherwise, I'm happy just to answer questions.
Okay, well, it's a fairly in-depth report, so shall we open it up to councillors to see if they want any explanation, clarifications of where you're trying to head with this? Councillor Downard, you do a lot of work on that committee up there along with Councillor Hickling. Are you too comfortable with this?
Yeah, I'm just quite surprised there's no representative from King Country here. That's the only thing that surprises me. But yeah, I think it is. They are probably one of the predominant news users up there. Even when you go from, we had a presentation from Sport Advisory Council who felicitate Tiny Blacks, and there is predominantly a rugby focused orientation up there. So in King Country, we were pretty proactive in getting sponsorship together for our rugby fraternity over the district. So yeah, I support it.
Well, if Ms Rawley thinks that that's the best way forward for Owen Delaney Park, because I know that people that were involved in building it and us now as guardians of it, I'm sure everybody here just wants to see it get up to utmost use that we can out of it. It's a district-wide asset, and so we need to just move forward in the best way that is for the park. So, Councillor Craig.
Your Worship, can I just add some? So what is the process in future if, say, another sport wants to use Owen Delaney Park? Do they have to go through the King Country first and then council, or what's the procedure?
The situation at the moment is that the park is, or part of the park, is leased to the Taupo Rugby Sub-Union, who hold a 33-year lease over that part of the park, which doesn't expire until 2018. Now they have, for the last 4 years, sublet their interest in the park to King Country Rugby Union, and they're wanting to do that for another year. They haven't made any commitment beyond that year. Now, if at the end of that year they wanted to sublet their interest in the park to another sport altogether, I believe the lease does allow that to happen. It's unlikely to happen because I think the Rugby Sub-Union want to reserve the use of the park for rugby as much as possible during the rugby season.
My question was mainly not at the end of the term, but in the intermediary time, if another code wants to use the park. Let's say like we had the Oceania Soccer here.
Yeah, Council does still have provision within the lease to the sub-union, which has been sublet to King Country, to make use of the park on days that it's not being used for rugby matches. And also on 2 days of the season that it might be used for rugby matches, i.e. 2 Saturdays. So it is still available for use by other codes, but essentially rugby has the first call during the season.
To go through them. Okay.
Well, come to us first.
Come to council first.
Come to council first, and then council can talk to King Country. Yeah.
Councillor Minshaw?
Hi, Alison. Obviously, and the cricket's involved there as well with the other side of the season. Is that a separate situation?
It's a separate lease that has now expired. There is no lease for cricket at the moment. They're basically using the grounds on a seasonal basis.
This lease only goes from April to
October.
And cricket falls in that other.
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
Councillor Downard?
Just to also expand on that, as you know, that the main, well, not the main, but the cricket pitch out of the number 1 field on Owen Delaney's been taken out, and the whole purpose of that, which I'm sure King Country Rugby will agree, is that it does open it up all year round for different codes to present themselves, like the Oceania Soccer. So I think there is a pretty good relationship with the CEO, David Travis, and council, and also other sports that that facility is, as Alison said, is we're guaranteed 2 days, but I'm sure if there's anything else that falls into that rugby calendar year of April to October, that they'd look at ways, because they actually, during the Rugby World Cup, they presented the number 2 field, and a lot of the rugby players actually enjoy playing on number 2 field as well. So the infrastructure's there that they can present a even representative game, which they had 2 on there last year.
Okay, did I have Councillor Hickling?
So, Alison, is this only for a season?
Yes, just for this current season.
And rent is 5,000 for this one season.
It's 5,000 to us
So
and 2,000 to.
Will it come to us again this time next year? You don't know?
Don't know.
No, okay.
Don't know.
It's up to the sub-union?
It is up to the sub-union.
Yeah, okay.
But I have indicated to the sub-union that I think there are some matters that we need to clarify with them between now and the next season.
Yeah,
if they're wanting to enter into another sublease.
Yeah, why I asked the question, I just noticed that the rent review had been crossed out of the document. Well, it's got a line through, so I assume does that mean that...
It's only because it's for 1 year.
Okay.
So there's no provision for rent review because it's effectively only a 1 year document.
Yeah, but
we
will that still be in the head lease?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
And that's something that we need to discuss with the sub-union because King Country have occupied the grounds for the last 4 years, and during that time there has been provision for a rent review with the sub-union as the subleasor.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that rent review because King Country were actually paying the rent.
Yeah. I'm aware of that.
So we do need to go back to the sub-union and address that because the variation to the lease that actually provided a formula for ongoing rent reviews is flawed. If we had done the rent review, it would have meant the rent would have dropped by about 70%, and I wasn't prepared to do that. So we need to go back to them and say, hey, this isn't working.
Okay. All right.
Okay, anything further? Okay, nothing further. There's a suggested resolution on 8(2) that Council agrees to give its consent, etc. Is there a mover for that? Move Councillor Downard, seconded Councillor Hickling. All in favour? Aye. Okay, this is one that has some ramifications. Now, there's been another addendum handed out for item number 9 with your